Welcome to techaily.ai and to another compelling deep dive. Today we're tackling a really interesting question, I think. In an age where every creator needs, well, cinema quality visuals for everything, from film festivals right down to vertical social feeds, is that traditional bulky cinema camera maybe becoming a bit of a relic?
It's a great question.
So we're diving into the newly released Canon EOS C50. This is a camera that's making some serious waves precisely because it promises to maybe revolutionize how content gets made.
Yeah, challenging some of the big players.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's challenging some long-standing industry favorites. Now, this deep dive is sponsored by Stonefly. They're your trusted solution provider and advisor in enterprise storage, backup disaster recovery, hyper-converged solutions like VMware, Hyper-V, Proxmox clusters,
Right, all the heavy-duty stuff.
AI servers, SA365, which is a turnkey security appliance, public and private cloud. Lots going on there. You can check out stonefly.com for more info.
So our mission today, let's unpack this C50. We've got a lot of insights pulled from filmmaking experiences, detailed specs, comparison. Yeah, we're going to explore what makes this camera potentially such a game changer, for cinematographers, but also for maybe more general content creators. We'll look at the features, how it actually performs in the real world, and crucially, how it stacks up against its rivals, especially those compact cinema cameras. We want to give you a clear, sort of well-informed take on this thing.
Okay, so with that context, Canon's timing for the C50 it feels really strategic, doesn't it? And now it's September 9th, 2025. What's its core identity? Why now?
Well, what's fascinating here is that Canon's positioning it as their smallest and lightest cinema camera yet.
Really? How light?
Just 665 grams for the body only, about 1.5 pounds. It's a full-frame camera, designed first for cinematographers, professional creators, but it also does high-quality stills really well. And it builds on that whole cinema EOS legacy, which, started way back in late 2011 with the C300. So there's history there.
Right, so that's a key distinction, isn't it? This is a cinema camera first that happens to be great at stills, not the other way around. What does that actually mean for someone using it day to day?
Well, it signals a real shift. Canon's pushing hard into this compact cinema space, and it's clearly because that's what the market wants now. People need that professional video quality, but without, hauling around massive gear.
Sure, the logistics.
Yeah. So this camera is this blend of high-end features, but in a body that's genuinely compact. That means easier setups, more agility on shoots, just makes things more practical.
Okay, let's dig into some of those features then, the specs that are really turning heads.
Yeah.
The 7K RAW recording and this open gate thing everyone's talking about.
Right. So the C50 has a brand new 7K full-frame CMOS sensor. It's about 34.2 megapixels total, and it's all driven by their DIGIC DV7 processor, which is well proven. The big headline, like you said, is that 7K RAW recording. That's 16960 by 640 pixels at up to 60 frames per second.
Wow.
And crucially, that includes the OpenGate 3.2 option. That's a really big deal right now.
Okay. For those maybe not deep in the cinema weeds, open gate. What does that actually mean? And why is it such a big deal for flexibility?
So basically, OpenGate means you're using the entire sensor area, the full width and height of its 3:2 aspect ratio. Most video formats, like 16.9, they crop the sensor top and bottom right from the start. OpenGate doesn't, so you capture the absolute maximum image area. In post-production, this gives you massive flexibility. You can reframe for widescreen cinema, you can crop for vertical social media.
All from the same source footage.
Exactly, without losing quality. It's especially great if you're using anamorphic lenses, because you capture all that vertical information needed to get that classic wide, stretched look. And the camera even helps you on set. It can de-squeeze the image on the LCD so you see what you're getting.
That sounds incredibly useful, yeah. Liberating, almost, for post.
But what about shooting when the light gets tricky? We heard from Antoine Janssens, a filmmaker, who pushed the ISO in a dark tunnel.
That's another key point. The C50 has dual base ISO. The native values are 800 and 6400.
What does dual base mean in practice? It means the camera has two circuits for sensitivity, basically. One optimized for brighter light around ISO 800, and another optimized for low light around ISO 6400. You get the best dynamic range and cleanest image near those points. So Antoine mentioned he was surprised how dark it was in the tunnel, but even pushing it past the native 6400 up to 12,800, he found the footage still incredibly clean. That kind of low light performance is just vital for documentary work, run and gun stuff where you can't control the lighting.
Definitely. So beyond the headline specs like resolution and ISO,
Yeah.
what else contributes to the image quality and the workflow for pros?
Well, there's the dynamic range. It boasts over 15 stops when you shoot in Canon Log 2.
Okay, 15 plus stops, that's a lot.
It's huge. Canon Log is their way of recording a flatter image that holds onto way more detail in the highlights and shadows. That range gives you enormous flexibility in color grading later. Then you've got high frame rates, uncropped 4K up to 120 frames per second, full HD up to 180. Great for slow motion. And autofocus is Canon's dual pixel CMOS AF2. Its phase detection covers almost the whole sensor and has really advanced tracking eyes, faces, bodies, even animals.
And for stills, you mentioned it does stills too.
Yeah, for hybrid shooters, it's pretty impressive. It can capture 32 megapixel stills at up to 40 shots per second using the electronic shutter. That's really fast.
Okay, so the specs sound amazing on paper, but how does it actually hold up, under pressure in the real world?
Yeah.
Antoine Jansen's used it on a bike ad and a mini dock. What did he find?
Versatility and size were the big takeaways for him. He said that normally for a shoot like that bike ad, he'd need multiple cameras for different setups.
Right.
But with the C50, especially shooting that 7K raw open gate, it just gave them so many options, particularly for social media cuts and different crops. It simplified things.
Okay, and what about the tricky stuff?
Yeah.
Like filming a cyclist from a moving car. That sounds like a focus nightmare.
Yeah, he found the remote control really useful there. Controlling the camera from a tablet inside the car, he said it was great to have everything in the same place. Made it so easy to control the zoom, the focus, aperture, everything. And he specifically called out the face detection autofocus, said it was great and really following his face very well. Keeps the shot sharp, even with all that movement.
He also put it through its paces in a studio, right?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned dreamy cinematic shots, robots, lights, different lenses.
Yes, he really enjoyed the creative freedom there. Used Canon Sumeyer prime lenses, also anamorphic lenses, and he stressed that shooting open gate really gets everything out of anamorphic lenses, maximizing that look. He described the results, the image quality as just stunning, praised the dynamic range, the natural colors, skin tones, all classic Canon strengths, really, and importantly, audio. He noted they captured all the sound design directly on set thanks to the built-in Pro audio features.
The XLR handle.
Exactly. And for hybrid work, he loved being able to switch from pro video to high-quality stills with the flick of a switch. Basically, 2 cameras in one.
That's glowing feedback.
Yeah.
But surely there were some downsides. No camera's perfect. Any challenges or limitations reported?
Oh, definitely. That's always the case. While most found it a joy to use, some pointed out what they called a blanket effect.
A blanket effect. What's that?
It means some features can't be used together. For example, digital image stabilization isn't available when you're recording in that 3.2 open gate RAW format.
Oh, okay. So you have to choose.
Right. Also, apparently, using the focus magnification tool isn't ideal when you're shooting 4K at 120 fps, particularly with manual lenses. It makes nailing focus a bit harder in that specific mode. And then there are things it just doesn't have. There's no built-in IBIS in-body image stabilization. The sensor itself doesn't move to compensate for shake.
Unlike some competitors.
Exactly. And no built-in electronic viewfinder, or EVF. You rely solely on the LCD screen, or you add an external one.
And the screen itself.
It's a 3-inch articulating LCD, which is fine, but some users felt it was a bit small for critical focus or composition, maybe pushing them towards using an external monitor more often.
Okay, those points, especially no IBIS and no EVF,
Yeah.
feel like they could be significant trade-offs for some people, right? Are they deal breakers, or do the strengths win out?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think for a lot of filmmakers, the core strengths, that 7K open gate RAW, the low light, the Canon color, the pro audio inputs are so compelling that they're willing to work around the limitations. Maybe they use gimbals or tripods instead of relying on IBIS, or they always plan to use an external monitor anyway. It depends on your shooting style.
Sure.
But its arrival definitely shakes things up in the wider market. There's a lot of chatter about the C50 going head-to-head with established cameras, especially Sony's offerings in this compact cinema space.
Right, the Sony FX3 comes up a lot. How does the C50 actually stack up against that? It's kind of the most direct rival.
Yeah, the FX3 has really dominated this compact, capable, well-priced cinema camera segment for a while. Many see the C50 as the first true competitor that might even offer, better value.
Better value, how so?
Well, spec-wise, the C50 arguably outperforms the FX3 in most areas. The big exceptions are stabilization. The FX3 does have IDS, and the FX3 also has a mechanical shutter, which some stills photographers might prefer. But the Canon offers higher resolution 7K versus 4K. It has internal 12-bit RAW recording, which is huge, and that unique 3.2 open gate option.
And the price?
Critically, yes.
Yeah.
The C50 comes in at $3,899, and that includes the professional XLR top handle.
Which is often an extra cost for the Sony, right?
Often, yes. So when you factor that in, the C50 undercuts the FX3 while offering, on paper at least, more core video features. That ability to shoot 7K open bay and deliver for multiple platforms with pro audio built in, that's a compelling package at that price.
Okay, and how does it fit within Canon's own lineup? What about compared to something like the R5C or the C70?
Good question. It seems positioned as a more focused video tool than the R5C, even though they're similarly priced. The C50 has that dedicated cinema body designed for rigging, better cooling for long takes, the integrated audio handle.
Right, less of a hybrid compromise, maybe.
Perhaps. It leans more heavily into the cinema part of cinema camera. And compared to the C70, the C50 is smaller and lighter, but actually exceeds it in some key specs, like offering 7K open gate. What's also interesting is Canon plans to bring OpenGate recording via firmware updates to other cameras, like their new C400. So it seems like a strategic feature they're rolling out across the Cinema EOS line.
It really sounds like Canon is making a major statement here with the C50, like offering a complete package for run-and-gun filmmakers, but also for more polished professional productions.
Precisely. That seems to be the goal. A professional tool that's small, light, incredibly versatile, ready for action sequences 1 minute, controlled studio shots the next, and things like the included top handle with those dual XLRs for 4-channel, 24-bit audio, all the mounting points, even the dual menu system, separate ones for video and photo modes. It all just streamlines the workflow on set.
So the takeaway seems to be, if you're a filmmaker or a serious content creator looking for maybe just one camera that can genuinely do almost everything, deliver stunning results across the board,
Yeah.
the C50 could be it.
That's certainly the feeling coming from pros who've used it, like Antoine Janssen saying, if I had to choose just one camera, this would be it.
That's quite the endorsement.
It is. He felt it delivered in every single scenario he threw at it. That adaptability and performance is really what seems to be resonating.
Wow, what an incredible deep dive into the Canon EOS C50. It's clear Canon is really pushing the envelope, giving filmmakers these powerful new tools and such a compact form factor.
Indeed. It really highlights how fast things are moving in this industry. And it leaves you with a thought, doesn't it? With cameras like the C50 letting one person potentially handle so much high-end cinema looks, quick social media turnaround, pro audio stills. Is this changing what a film crew even means? Could this enable a whole new wave of really agile, independent productions?
That's a fascinating question. Definitely something to ponder as you plan your next creative project. Before I wrap up, a big thank you again to Stonefly for sponsoring this deep dive. You know, creating all this amazing 7K RAW footage from the C50 means you need serious storage. Secure, robust storage is absolutely critical.
Non-negotiable, really.
Stonefly offers enterprise storage, backup disaster recovery, hyperconverged systems, AI servers, the whole suite. And check this out. They have a 100 TB immutable and air-gapped SSO NAS for just $8,995.
Wow, 100 terabytes immutable and air-gapped. That's serious data protection at that price point.
It's incredible value. So head over to stonefly.com to learn more about that deal and how they can protect your critical data. That's stonefly.com. Thank you so much for joining us for another deep dive. We look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you next time.